Good afternoon and welcome to this new session of Pranzo con il NIC, our webinar series designed to share insight, experience, and practical tools, all in the time of a lunch break. My name is Sergio Guerreri. I'm part of the event teams at the PMI Northern Italy chapter, and I'm happy to guide you through today's session. A big thank you also to Gabriella, who is working behind the scene today to make sure everything runs smoothly, the quite essential engine over every great webinar. Our guest today is Alfonso Buchero, where in this presentation covers how to use the right language with the executive that act like a project sponsor and the importance of establishing a good relationship and training executives on project sponsorship for project success. So make yourself comfortable and enjoy this session. Please, Alfonso, go.
Thank you. Thank you, grazie mille to all people that are connected here. I really appreciate it because it's a challenging subject for me over the years, right? So let me introduce myself very briefly. My name is Alfonso, and this is my email and coordinates. I have my profile in LinkedIn. I have been working in project management for 42 years right now. I studied computer science in the Polytechnical University of Madrid. And can you see the screen?
Sorry, the screen, we are seeing your,
Yeah,
not the presentation, not the presentation.
I don't know why.
Can you switch to the presentation?
I don't know why. Yeah. Just a second. So I continue my introduction. I have been working, as I told you, in project management over the years, 42 years. I computer science engineer. By the end of my career, I got my PhD, obviously in project management, because project management is my hobby. It is the type of thing that I want to do in my life. And project sponsorship is one of the subjects that worried to me over the years. I spent some time in different multinational organizations, and one of them was Hewlett Packard. In Hewlett Packard, I had the opportunity to spend almost 14 years, and it was a real good opportunity to share and exchange experiences with other colleagues, but also a great opportunity to listen to my executives, to the people, right? So the thing is, I am trying to open the presentation again. I don't know what happens. Surprise from technology. Can you share? Can you see right now?
Yes, we see.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Switch
okay.
presentation mode.
So finally,
Perfect.
I got different certifications along my life. I think for me, the most important thing were not just getting those certifications. The most important for me was working and learning from people. And this is the thing. And the idea is that in this particular presentation, I will be covering something about speaking the truth to sponsors. That this is one of the real important things we need to do. Saying the truth and speaking the truth and not lying to sponsors, because they should be, our executives that should support us. Number 3 is training executives for sponsorship. There's some experiences very briefly in the time slide that we have. The results that I obtained in my particular experience, not only at Hewlett Packard, but also in other organizations, the model I follow, and some suggestions and conclusions. And finally, I will be explaining to you a little bit the research that I am running, right? And what I am asking you to participate. So what is the background? In general, not only for Hewlett Packard, one common thing that we found is too many projects, okay? How many of you have heard in your organization, we are managing too many projects, we have too many initiatives, right? But you know what happens? We have many young project managers, sometimes less and less experienced PMs, because people who knows or who has the knowledge have been promoted to management positions. And then we have less and less experienced project managers, so we don't have enough knowledge to share with our customers, internal or externally, right? And also there is an absence of sponsorship because the project sponsors usually are executives that perhaps are too busy. Perhaps they don't have time to listen to you because they really believe that project management is about you as a project manager. And the thing is that in my situation, for instance, talking about my experience at HP, AKP, I think is the pronunciation in Italy, at AKP, was I had no more authority than anyone else in the organization. I was a project manager and also leading an important effort with the PMO, right? So the thing is that you need to speak the truth to sponsors. So my manager said, okay, well, we want to implement sponsorship in the organization. And I called for a meeting to Spanish people. And I obtained very, very low response. I invited 15 people to the meeting because it was an informative meeting about explaining what sponsorship was important, what do we need from the executive point of view, how executives needed to be involved, things like that, trying to use examples and so on. And I failed. And I failed 2 times. So I talked to my manager and I invited somebody else from Germany speaking in English instead of Spanish, right? And also with German pronunciation, so you can imagine, right? But it was clear because this guy was living in the US, in the United States for many years. And I proposed my manager to invite somebody. This German guy came, was very experienced working with executives, and needed to solve similar problems in Germany. And he ran some sponsorship training. So we asked our general manager to attend the session. And the thing is that when we attended the session, as the people from outside were coming, everybody was attending. So all the business managers, different business managers regarding the industry we were addressing, type of projects in IT projects and healthcare projects, government projects, industry, financial sector, and so on, attended because they were interested. So they say, well, it is not the idiot Alfonso speaking again about project management is important. It's somebody else from our organization at AKP, but belonging to another country and speaking with other accent. What about going there? So the thing is that the difference was that we invited them to fill in a questionnaire about how many projects as manager are you supervising or sponsoring? How much information do you know about those projects? And the surprise was very, very high. So the thing is that it was very, very important because the thing is that most of the people didn't know the status of the project they were sponsoring just because they believe that was only the project manager obligation, right? And I say finally it was crazy because at the end of the meeting they say, well, it is the first time that a senior project manager is explaining to us what is expected from upper management perspective regarding project sponsorship and how we can use it, how to establish a good dialogue, how to speak the same language. So my question to the attendees is, please reflect upon that. Did you experience anything similar? Did you try to talk to executives explaining how project sponsorship is important and may impact, and in fact, it is impacting your project success in organizations? Try to reflect upon that because when you are gathering data regarding what is happening in your organization, you will be able to show up to your executives what is happening, how to solve it, how to move forward. We need to work together. The purpose of working together between the executive and the project manager. And sometimes the problem is that the executive and project manager obviously are not speaking the same language because many of the sponsors I knew didn't act as a project manager in the past, right? So they didn't have experience as project managers. They was very, very experienced. They were very experienced as project sponsors, right? So the thing is that we prepare this type of training. We prepare an email for all business managers, I told you. We call them for a meeting, as I have told you right now. And, outside the organization building, just to be sure that they will not be interrupted, right? Because it is the interrupting number one tool is our cell phone or mobile, so you know what happens. So we try to get focused. And we prepare some questions to be answered, as I told you, and those questions were very, very surprising to us. Why? Because believe me, all business managers attended the session. The guy that was coming from Germany was very, very clever and very smart and forced or asked for the general manager to attend that session. What happened was we discovered that 70% of the business managers didn't know all the project status about the project they sponsored. And they were an inconsistent understanding of project sponsorship. Not all the people were understanding what project sponsorship means. In fact, some of them, they were so confused between what is the role of the project sponsor and what is the role for the project manager. And also in the case of project management, we observe an absence of customer visits and not talking with the real sponsor of the project, not accurate answers and things like that. So the thing is that the general manager, say, well, what is happening something, you need to take care because we are delivering customer projects. So project outside AKP organization you need to pay attention as a business manager and working together with your project manager and also attending the meetings that the project manager has with their project sponsors in the customer side. So as he observed that this type of thing didn't happen, he was, directing a very, very important questions to them. And he said, well, do you really believe, Mr. Business Manager, that proceeding that way, you will get, much more project coming? Will you be increasing the sales quota? Are you be able to generate more proposals from these particular customers? So I really believe that is not the way. So the general managers was in the room said, do you really believe that acting that way you will be able to sell more projects to your customers? Important thing. So he was touching, the fiber, the critical fiber in order to understand what is, on the back of the organization, that is, getting business and being successful and trying to run successful projects will be generating more business and more, reliability, and credibility from their part. So the thing is that the general manager asks them for an immediate actions. So I was really blessed. Why? Because the thing is that this German guy had the experience before in some other organization outside and inside AKP, and he was asking for a commitment. So after the meeting, the project managers were, meeting with our business managers, and the general manager asked them, asked to the business managers to prepare a plan of collaboration between project managers and business managers to know much more about each other, to talk much more, to establish better dialogue, and so on. So I follow the model about speaking truth to power. That is important because sometimes we have, a lot of fear about talking to executive people. Because I think I can remember in my particular example, I was, contemplating executives like my father, right? So my father, how to, to elevate the voice, to pitch the voice to my father, how to say things that my father doesn't want to listen. This type of thing. And there is ask what's bad about the news. So because things sometimes is too different, people lose power, we want another way. It violates the tradition because there is not any attitude about talking too much with executives if you don't need it. But also you need to define and you need to get data. And we were asking for data. And then to follow a clear and convincing and compelling message about you need to work together. And it was not the idiot Alfonso who said that. It was not only the German guy, the German colleague, but also the general manager. Say, well, I ask you, and it is a need for us working together. So please, after that meeting, Every business manager needs to sit down with their project managers and trying to see which type of projects they are managing and how to collaborate. So what happened is that in my experience, what happened is that I used an outsider. I used a consultant, to do that. Just because in some cases, what happened is that this type of experience is really important to do it, right? So the thing is that how to move forward. You need to obviously, just a second about the screen. You need to act through your strengths. And I use my passion. So my motto are passion, persistence, and patience. And acting, I always say, I'm trying to share for every organization I collaborate with that I am like a mosquito, an infectious mosquito, but trying to contagiate people in a positive way, trying to get people participating, right? To illuminate people in terms of creating, energy and passion. So the thing, use your passion, be accountable, and get explicit commitments. The manager was asking for explicit commitments with the business managers. So in that way, you are able to take action. And he said, the general manager said to business managers, in 15 days, I want to see a plan on my desk about how you will be collaborating with your project managers. Everybody was not prepared in the same way. So I needed to use some more training and talking to business managers again and explaining the definition. We created some documentation and so on. But it was definitely very good, the way in which we did. So finally get it done. So the thing is that we needed to demonstrate to executives to articulate the need for change in their behavior. They didn't communicate very much with their project managers. So now the general manager was asking them to participate, to collaborate, to help them, to work each other, to work as a team. So the thing is that we were offering a new perspective, diagnosing the situation from others' perspective and trying to demonstrate beliefs and values, in common and trying to generate motivation. So this is the model I follow. So obviously you will have a copy of the presentation. It's just for you to share with you. So based on that, I learned and I have some suggestions for you. Some suggestions for the PMs and some suggestions for executives. Based on my experience, I have been working in this subject since 2006. Okay, so almost 20 years right now. And I have seen not very much progress in many organizations, but believe me, in the organization that they really understood the need of project sponsorship, the need of executive involvement in the right way, they were much more successful. They felt much more comfortable, and most important for organizations who are providing services outside, they were delivering more value to the customer. So for good practices for project managers, listen to your sponsor, spend some time with them. Okay, you need to talk. You don't have any excuse. We have many media of communication right now, many tools. Respect your sponsor's opinion. Sometimes you can dislike or you don't like what your sponsor is saying, he or she. Give him or her objective information. Ask questions. Be a mosquito. Be a kind mosquito. Okay? Bother a little bit, but in a kindly manner. Encourage decisions. Executive needs to make decisions. Mainly decisions that any project manager can make. Because we don't have the power. We don't have the authority to do it. And also sometimes, many times I will say, we don't have enough information or access to many areas in our organization. Provide emotional support when needed. Say to your executive, I need you. I want to work with you. I need you in the team. I need your feedback. I need your opinion. I need the information you have and you can provide me to get the project more effective, to get a successful project. And also sometimes you don't have the answer. If you don't have the answer, say, I don't know. Be honest. Don't lie. Don't be Pinocchio, right? Because your nose will be growing up. Some suggestions for sponsors. Listen to your PM and respect to your project manager opinions. Practice integrity and authenticity. That means integrity, authenticity means say what you believe. Authenticity, be authentic, say what you believe. And integrity, act on what you say. Oh, mamma mia, if you are authentic and practicing integrity, you will be very, very, very powerful in your organization, okay? Defend your project managers when facing the management team. Don't use excuses. Oh, this project manager is failing. I am not the guilty of project failure. It is because the project manager, he or she doesn't have enough skills to do it. No. It's not the way. Encourage project management ideas. Provide emotional support when needed. Talk to your project managers frequently. Okay, with sometimes they say with somebody is not coming to you, please go to that anybody else, right? And see what happens. So it is very, very difficult just to summarize all my experiences, almost 20 years of experience in that subject. But I would like to share with you some conclusions and explaining to you my research. My conclusion is know your sponsor and spend more time communicating to him or her. And I would like suggesting today one exercise. Try to measure and to count how much time have you been spending with your sponsor, he or she, this week, and try to improve it. Did you get enough information using that time or not? Second, establish a professional relationship with your sponsor. You don't need to be friend of your sponsor, but you need to work well with him or her, working as a team. Be authentic and positive. Say what you believe and act on what you say. Don't use promises, and nothing happens. Be authentic and positive. Practice integrity. Highlight the importance of project sponsorship, because if the project succeeds, the sponsors will be, practically wearing a crown as a king or as a queen, right? So highlight it. Obviously, if the sponsorship fails, the project will be dying, right? And also, as a project manager, if you don't have a sponsor, or you really believe that the sponsor you have been assigned is not the right one, unless say it. Say it to your executives. I believe it will not be the ideal sponsor. I think it is not personally. It is just in the benefit of the organization, in the benefit of the project, we need somebody else who has, more power, more image, more presence in the project. Tell them that you need them. Tell your sponsor that you need them. Sorry. And also train your executives. Train your executives on project sponsorship. It takes time, but it's not impossible. Also, getting enough questions regarding how your sponsor is dealing with you in projects is really, really important. So it is because based on this type of things that I was talking about, and I hope not talking too fast for you. If you have, obviously, we'll have opportunity for some questions too. I would like to reinforce my research. Why you are researching, Alfonso, about how sponsor or executives have been training sponsorship in organization? Mainly because I really believe that if executives are trained on project sponsorship, first of all, they will be much more aware about the need of executive support that we, as project managers, have in any type of project. Second, because the contribution of the sponsors will be a really great contribution to any project managers to know much better on depth your organization, and will be able to provide or to equip you with the right skills to deal much better with customers internally or externally. So the research objective is to find out the amount and type of executive training in project sponsorship organization worldwide, how they are delivering, and how effective is this type of training. So it's an easy survey that the link is here, and the research questions are, the main one is, how are organizations training their executives in project sponsorship? One answer may be in some organization, who is the sponsor or what sponsorship means? Probably it is because you have not been trained or that, or doesn't exist. That's okay. I am trying to find out. And also, when you are living this type of situation, the survey will be stopping and not, spending more time with you. And inside of that, I am trying to find out who is training them in that organization that they have. What type of training do they receive? And finally, but not less important, is being effective in terms of project success? Do you consider that training executives on a sponsorship, is worth it? So people can, take benefits about that. So the link is over there. I I hope you can see, and also I guess your chapter can share if they want through chat. The survey is completed in no more than 3-4 minutes. I need to tell you that now we have already collected 357 answers.
Okay, okay, Alfonso, thanks. I don't know if you have completed.
Yes, and completed.
Well,
The only,
very
yeah,
impressive your experience. Thanks a lot to provide us your experience in this webinar. So we have just a few questions that I wanted to ask you, so
sure.
you can. So just the first one is, how do you get project sponsorship when team member and project stakeholder are dispersed in different locations and countries?
Yeah, sometimes, but it is not a real successful thing. So I manage international projects in different locations. For instance, I was involved in the year 2K, año 2000 change in terms of computers, IT at HP, and so on. And the project sponsor was in the United States. But the thing is that the program manager was traveling worldwide. For instance, we had a program manager for Europe and another program manager for United States, and they were coordinated. So I think that it's possible, but it's really more difficult because in my particular experience, my experience and the Randall Ingram experience, that is co-author and colleague and friend, and also very knowledgeable in that area, is that you need to talk to a sponsor frequently. At least, I don't say 20 minutes, 15 minutes per week or whatever, and keep your sponsor informed about what is happening. Because at the moment that any problem is happening, you need to get an answer and you need to be prepared. And it is very, very poor if the sponsor has no answer regarding that, or they don't have any idea, as I told you, and as I shared with you in my particular case at HP, that they didn't have 70% of them no idea about what is the real status. Thank you for your question.
So the other one is, are there difference in managing project sponsorship within the private sector compared to the public one?
My experience has been mainly in the private sector. Obviously, in some cases, I was working in a project 2 years long for the Spanish Treasury of the Social Security, and I was slightly different in terms of, a little bit more bureaucracy. In terms of, the sponsor was assigned, but in reality, the sponsor role was not very, very effective. So I had one person in the government in that type of organization that helped me, to get support from their own organization. So I was delivering a project as a project manager from AKP in that customer, in that public organization. And the thing is that without the help of these other people, wouldn't be impossible. So I saw differences. Yeah.
Well, so the last one is, in a number of projects, the sponsor is the same person with the client. So a lot of problems about cost related to work rises. So needed to convince sponsor for the best work to do, but don't want pay for something that's costless in his mind. Have you experienced such a scenario?
Yeah, I have experienced that scenario because I worked for 14 years for AKP. After AKP, I created my own company, and I have been dealing with that scenario with some project managers. I was sponsored from my organization and working together with the other sponsor. I think executive talk to executive, right? So the
Just
thing is,
just few minutes, if you can conclude with the
so executive talk to executive. So the thing is that basically my consideration is that when you are going to an external customer, first of all, you need to figure out what is the level of maturity on
Okay.
the sponsorship first.
Okay. So just if you can go to the next slide, just to remember what are the coming events,
Yes.
please. So we have planned the schedule of this event, the 19th of June, the 21st of June, 26th of June, and the 16th of July. Therefore, the time is expired. Therefore, thank you to everybody to join this session, and thanks Alfonso. Thanks also to everybody joined in this call, and thanks also to Gabriella. Bye bye.
Thank you. Grazie mille.
Bye.
Tutti. Bye now.